Hey folks, Seawit here, and if you've watched my stream at all, you know that I often use R and RStudio to show summaries of data that I export from League or tournaments. Well, today I wanted to show an example of code that you can use, and I am going to post to GitHub for you to use yourself, so you can learn how to also export data from your tournaments, from your leagues, get them into a file, and then run summary statistics on it. While I am not giving the entirety of my code, I'm giving kind of a simplified version just to help folks get started. It should be enough without any real R knowledge to start running some statistics of your own. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to the league stats page and make a view. And this view is going to need to have pretty much every variable, every counting variable in it. So from either tournament or league, it doesn't matter for this setup, but you want to go there, click statistics, click sortable stats, and then from here you want to make sure that there aren't any filters for position, for splits. You want to make sure everything is showing every single player. From there, you need to make sure you make your view. So if you go here and click customize, you should go through and basically select all of the counting stats. If you want to see my views that I have in the GitHub post that will have the code, links to R and RStudio, and the pictures showing my views, go check out that link, and I would go through and make a view that's almost exactly, if not exactly the same as what my view is. So once that view is done and everyone is filtered, you need to export the file. To do that, you go to report, you click write report to CSV, and then it writes the file to the specific location on your drive. You need to find that location. You can't change it. It's a little bit of a pain, but once you get it once, it should be easy to get stuff from there. So once you've exported your file, you want to make sure you have all of your files merged into one file. So whether you just want to copy and paste the data in, whether you have a script in R or Python or some other software to get everything together, you want everything in one single file that is of the same format that you want to merge together. So once you have a single file, we could start going through the R script. Now, of course, you need to download R and RStudio. To do that, again, I have linked posts. I've linked the websites in the GitHub, in the comment, in the description. So again, that GitHub link in the description should have all of the resources you need to get this to go. So once you have R and RStudio downloaded, you bring the script in, and from there, you can just follow along here. So the first time you run this script, you're going to have to install the packages needed to do this. Most of them, at least for this specific case, are in the tidyverse package. So I would just do this install packages tidyverse package, then highlight and click run. You could also do control enter if you're on a Mac, and I think it's command enter if you're on a PC. Either way, make sure to run this script the first time, and then after you have installed it for the first time, you just have to make sure you run this library script of that package every time you come into R for the first time. So then the rest of the script, you could basically just run it all out, but we could go line by line at first. So first you read the file in. Again, you'll put your own file location in. It will have to be a CSV file, not an Excel file, so make sure you save it as a CSV. And then it will read it into this bronze data frame. Then we have to do a little bit of processing. So, innings in baseball, they're exported as, 20.1, 20.2. we need to make them into actual fractions. So running this line will change the innings into fractional. And then from there, we have to calculate some things in order to get our statistics right. So firstly, we're calculating Wilba weights. There's a Tom Tango blog post that I will also post in the GitHub if you want to follow along. But basically, because we can't get run states unless we went through game logs and all that stuff. You could also just use the 2010 totals for modern, or just take it out. But I decided to use this as a way to calculate it dynamically for whatever run environment I'm using. So running this section will calculate your totals. Once you have your totals, this section will create your Wilba weights. So again, you would just want to highlight it all, click run, or do your control enter, whatever way you want to run it. From there, this next section calculates the FIP constant. So you run that. And then once you have that, we can do our summary statistics for hitting, pitching, and overall team win rates. So this first section is what calculates all the hitting summaries. So again, I left a decent bit of things here. You could always add more. This should be examples here. You could do some reading on R. I actually put another really strong, really great R textbook in the GitHub as well. It is free. It's an amazing resource, and it should help you if you want to kind of customize this a little bit more. But there should be enough example here that will allow you to do so. I guess one of the other things, now that I'm thinking about it, is, I'm calling these files bronze, but you can always name them whatever you want. Just make sure you replace the name in all of the areas to make sure that you're using the right data frames and variables there. So running this again, it should summarize things. As you can see, we're grouping across name, CID, and variant level. So we're making sure that cards of the same ratings and same card are grouped together. But if they're a variant and of different ratings, they will be grouped separately. Once this is run, you can then run this view script, and it will bring up a table of all of your summaries. So as you can see, I left the plate appearance in this file at 500. However, you can change this number or add other restrictions if you want to. Similarly, here's the pitching one. Same thing. You run the entire thing. I did my click. You could also just do the run from here. And then after that, you run this one. Again, I left the innings pitch minimum at 300, but you can always change it to whatever you would like. Finally, this is how you look at kind of basic win-loss rates. So if you've looked at mine, I also have the amount of tournaments and PAX won. That only works if you have a timestamp or some way of telling each tournament apart. That's something that you could do on your own, however way you want to. I have an imperfect method that I do on my import, but for now, I'm just showing a way how to calculate the win-loss rate. So again, we have group by organization, so we make sure that any team with the same name is counted together. We calculate wins and losses, and then from there, we're able to calculate win percentage. So again, running that script, running the view, and from there we will have each team and their win-loss record as well as win percentage for each. So again, this is really basic, but this should be enough to give you a good start in using R and R Studio to summarize your statistics. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment right below on YouTube, and I'm happy to help out. You could also DM me on Discord or talk to me on Twitch. I'm always happy to help out. And, the more people that we can get, doing stats and being, knowing the good players, the better the game will be. So, again, happy to be a resource. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe. Really trying to get stuff up here, and we have a lot of really fun content coming up in the near future. So if you've enjoyed this, please leave me a subscription, and we will be back with more sometime soon. Thanks so much for watching.